Alright, so this morning I woke up not so poppy. I've had a pretty good run. Last probably 3-4 days I've been waking up really poppy and up and about, if you will, and yeah, this morning for some reason I had a good night's sleep. Woke up at 4:40. I've got work today, so you know, this is the first set, and the moment I kind of walked in and started moving, I knew I was a little bit off today. Yeah, anyway, so I already had planned to do a bit more of what works. So last few days I've been kind of experimenting, engaging the glutes with different movements. I've done hip thrusts, bridges, and I did a whole host of other things as well, all in the hope to kind of activate the glutes, because I've kind of my working diagnosis is that the glutes are the key to human movement, and certainly are to squatting as well. And so today I decided I'm going to do more of what works. And the deadlifts have worked the best. Ever since I've introduced deadlifts, I've been feeling really good. So today I thought, let's do it. So instead of doing 40 kilos for 5 sets of 10, I did 40 kilos for 5 sets of 20. And yeah, I mean, the first few sets I started feeling a little bit better. The glutes started firing up. To my surprise, I didn't really feel any back fatigue at all. Which is kind of one of those signs that if your back starts to fatigue in a hip hinge movement, something's wrong. You're lifting with basically a out of balance pelvis. That means that you are anteriorly pelvically tilted too much, and your lumbar spine is basically just copying the brunt of it. I didn't feel any of that. I felt the glutes were awakening, the hamstrings were awakening, even though it's 4:40 in the morning and everything's kind of asleep in me. But yeah, I had a good warm-up and I felt like it was going to be good, but yeah, I don't feel all that poppy today. I don't know, sometimes I think maybe too much sleep is actually really bad for you, honestly. Like sometimes when I have a really good sleep, it can sort of like make the glutes and everything fall asleep. But anyway, that's what happened today. Also, in between the sets of squats, which I'm going to show you in a second, I also tried to do these in the hope to kind of wake up, do these single leg glute bridges. Once again, I really wanted to kind of activate the posterior chain. I sort of started doing the squats and I felt like, okay, so I'm not gonna get nowhere near what I was hoping to get, even though I ended up, you'll see in a second, hit 180. The 180 didn't feel as poppy and as strong, but yeah, I don't know. It's a real mystery sometimes to kind of work these things out. The only thing I can think about was yesterday I did those block pulls, and I said in that video yesterday that my lower back started fatiguing, and every single time I feel my lower back fatigue during a training session, I know for the next day or so I'm gonna be down. I don't know whether I'm accurate in my assumptions with that, but I know yesterday I was like, okay, so I did 5 sets. What I do, 5 sets of 10 with 90 kilos, and I started feeling my lower back. Maybe that's the residue of that, I'm not sure. But I was kind of hoping this morning I was going to hit 190. I felt good. I've been feeling good last few days, and I've kind of been building. And then this kind of morning kind of pops out of nowhere. But yeah, I don't know. I think the lower back should be avoided. I think if you start feeling your lower back in any sort of hip hinge movement, or squatting for that matter, it will probably be best in your best interest to stop, because the lower back should not be getting fatigued if everything is firing correctly. This is where I feel, you know, how should I say, exercise sequencing or exercise order matters a lot. And this is what I'm learning nowadays, is that when you wake up in the morning, or when you go to the gym, whenever you go to the gym, you can't just do any exercise. There needs to be a certain flow. When I watch those training hall videos from Olympic weightlifters, there's a certain flow to them. They always start with their pulls. They do like a bit of a warm-up, kind of with joint mobilization. And they usually start with snatching, you know, really light snatching. And once they've kind of gone to the max snatch for the day, they go into clean and jerk every single time. Rarely do I ever see somebody just walk in and start squatting right away. So that tells me something. I think there's something to training. If you warm up the glutes, the hamstrings first, everything else will follow. So maybe on this day, instead of, you know, pushing on with squats earlier. I mean, I don't have ample time today. I need to get to work, obviously, but I probably should have spent more time kind of working with the glutes, because that's what the body was telling me, right? Like, you know, the body's telling me one thing, and I didn't listen to it, I guess, and I went with another thing. So I did, you know, 5 sets of deadlifts, but that wasn't enough. It wasn't kind of waking me up. It wasn't making me feel poppy. So this is where, like, if you're an experienced coach, say if you're, I don't know, Ivan Abajev, if you're Ivan Abajev, you might have something up your sleeve where you go, okay, this athlete is not moving correctly, the bar speed is off, we need to do this exercise. And this is where kind of work experience, this is where your training experience comes in, exposure. I find that stuff really, really interesting. This is the latest thing that I'm kind of interested in, sequencing of exercises. But anyway, so 140 here, feels slow, feels like I'm working really hard, feels like I'm not engaging the right muscles. It might not look like that on camera, but I'm just telling you how I feel, and how I feel means a lot to me, because, you know, I guess you could have the same bar speed with 2 sets of different muscles used, if you will. I know the same muscles are being used, but if your angle is off, or your torso a little bit, that calls in very, very drastically different musculature loading, say if you were, you know, a bit more upright. But anyway, so this is 180. 180 felt crappy. I really was hoping to hit 190 today, and maybe even try 200, but just didn't have it in me. Maybe it's the morning, I don't know. But just certainly not working up. The glutes weren't firing, hamstrings weren't firing. Yeah, you can see it on my face that I'm not happy. Anyway, guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.